Hello, Wellness Check Wednesdays community. We wanted to take a moment to remind you that while our podcast serves as a safe space for open discussions and sharing experiences, we are not mental health experts. This podcast is a platform for you to express your thoughts, feelings, and experiences in a judgment-free zone. Our aim is to foster connection, provide support, and create a sense of community. It's crucial to acknowledge that we are not a substitute for professional mental health advice or treatment. If you or someone you know is dealing with mental health challenges, we strongly encourage seeking guidance from qualified professionals. Remember, reaching out to mental health experts can make a significant difference. If you ever feel the need, don't hesitate to connect with a licensed therapist, counselor, or healthcare professional.
This is the Wellness Check Wednesdays podcast, a share space, a judgment-free zone, a place to meet and discuss our mental health. So let's check in.
Well. Another Wednesday comes across. This is episode 25 of the Wellness Check Wednesdays podcast. 25 episodes, man, oh man, and we are not stopping anytime soon. Y'all know how we like to do things on Wednesdays. Let's
check in.
This be yeah, boy. My name is Brian Livingston, aka Be Live. I am the moderator here at the Wellness Check Wednesdays podcast, and I have the originators of the Wellness Check Wednesdays podcast. First, by way of Cleveland, Ohio, the one, the only, my man Edwin Vereen.
The weather is nice. That's a good thing. But this past weekend, I got a good reminder of how I need to book my trip home for today's topic. But go ahead, Be Live. Other than that, I'm good. I can't complain.
And you said Thursday to Thursday, right?
Yeah, Thursday to Thursday. I'll send you the dates.
All right. And so me and Kev can skedaddle and make it down there for the weekend at least.
Yeah, man, do that.
Come down there, hang out.
Give you your Thursday and a piece of Friday. That's all you're getting. a piece of Friday.
Not the whole piece, like an M&M piece.
A quarter piece.
And also one of the originators by way of the Share Studios here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, the one, the only Kevin Marshall.
Man, it is such a blessing to find a hat to fit my head. Oh, hey, y'all, what's going on?
Man, you've been obsessing about this fitted hat that you have on that nobody can see because, you don't release the video of these things just because, I don't know, it's just extra work for me. But at the end of the day, we come together and we talk about different topics that relate to our mental health. And when it comes to this week, we're going to be talking about the importance of self-care. And that is a multifaceted topic because when it comes to defining exactly what self-care is, and we'll dive into that a little bit and really just talk about what it means and how it's important to us. I pass the mic over to Edwin as he opines on this week's topic.
This week's topic is near and dear to my heart. It's pretty much near and dear to my co-hosts on this podcast and to everybody listening because I know they can all relate. We're going to talk about self-care and the importance of it. So I have a few articles. I'm not going to bore y'all to death too much, but when I got the good reading, I like to share it with you. All right, so yeah, this article comes from Very Well Mind, and it talks about the 5 types of self-care for every area of your life. It's by Elizabeth Scott, PhD, and was updated on March the 6th, 2024. It's been medical reviewed by peers, and what's this, Dr. Rachel Goldman. So that way, whatever I'm reading to y'all is 100% official. It's been peer reviewed. College education does it to you. So let's get into it. So there's a table of contents, and there are several varieties of self-care. You have the physical self-care, social self-care, mental self-care, which we'll be down into today, spiritual self-care, and emotional self-care. The first thing that caught my eye was a big quote by Dr. Sabrina Romanoff. And she pretty much, like Beli said, there's a broad explanation of the term self-care. It's a facets of things, as we mentioned. So just like I said, at the top of the article, you have 5 types of self-care. So Sabrina Romanoff broke it down, and she said self-care is important because it helps reestablish balance and avoid burnout. It is often the mechanism of recalibrating and getting in touch with our ability to play, have fun, relax, and connect. And that is so true. That's about like the best definition I think that you can give in totality of self-care. So let's go ahead and FFWD. You remember that? Be live. Fast forward to mental self-care. The article states that we may think and the things that we're filling our minds with greatly influence our psychological well-being. Mental self-care includes doing things that keep your mind sharp, like puzzles, or learning about a subject that fascinates you. You might find reading books or watching inspiring movies fill your mind. Mental self-care also involves doing things that help you stay mentally healthy, practicing self-compassion and acceptance. For example, it helps you maintain a healthier inner dialogue. And it says here, and it gives like a couple, questions to ask. Are you making enough time for your activities that mentally stimulate you? And are you doing proactive things to help you stay mentally sharp? But then, Be Live, I also found one on this article here too. And I think it's under the topic of social self-care. Social self-care, because we like being social people. It says it says socialization is key to self-care, but often it's hard to make time for friends, and it can be easy to neglect our relationship when life gets busy. Close connections are important to your well-being. The best way to cultivate and maintain close relationships is to put time and energy into building our relationships with others. This isn't a certain number of hours you should devote to your friends or or work on your relationships. Everyone has slightly different social needs. The key is to figure out what your social needs are and to build enough time in your schedule to create an optimal social life. And things to consider says, are you getting enough face-to-face time with your friends? And are you doing, and what are you doing to nurture your relationship with your friends and your family? So that's from that article, great one. And then there's one that says the connection between self-care and mental health. I mean, it pretty much states like self-care and energy, and just tell you about the absence of self-care and talks about connecting to yourself. And it gives you 5 enhancing steps of self-care. Make quality a priority in your life: food, rest, friends, all that. Number 2, pay attention to your thoughts. Number 3, be nice to yourself as you are to others. Saying no, number 4, and number 5, staying connected to yourself. So in totality, fellas, self-care is important. And I'm gonna tell you why it's important to me. I know I'm damn near cutting a promo on this doggone podcast, but I'm going to get off my chest. Living in Ohio, I tend to miss, South Carolina at times. And then, right before my busy season happens with high school football and working and doing videos and all that, I take a little time during the summertime or towards the end of the summertime to go home for 1 week in South Carolina. I used to go home for like 4 days. Where somebody's like, look, if you're going to spend X amount of money and be down there, then you might as well get your money. So I'm like, yeah. So the last handful of years, I go home for a week. I'm home for 7 days. Them first 2 days, I don't go around to anybody. I don't go around. Except for this last time, Bilal was like, hey, I'm coming down. I'm like, you know what? I'll go see Bilal because we don't see each other like that, physically. So, we and Bilal went and had fun. So, like I said, normally the first 2 days, I'm in the house. I'm not doing nothing. I'm chilling. Probably about that 3rd day, I'm venturing out. And by day 5 and 6, I'm good to go because I use that time to recalibrate, recharge my batteries, and get my mind together. On the flip side, when I'm saying this to everybody, but Ed, man, when you come home, let me know. You come home, let me know. All right, cool. And then when I get there, sometimes some people, they just want to be like, well, you got to come here, you got to come there, you got to come here, you got to come there. Can you meet me in the middle at least?
To try to tell them.
Can you meet me in the middle at least? Just meet me in the middle. Because like I said, it takes time and money to travel down here, which I don't mind spending. But if you can meet me halfway, we good, we fine. We good to go. Because I don't feel like chasing nobody when I go home. Part of this is rest and relaxation. I want people to hear this to realize, part of my rest and relaxations is let's accommodate and meet them halfway. That's all I gotta say. But yeah, self-care to me is going home and not really thinking about anything, not really thinking about work. Just a 7-day period where I just check out. And I love it. What say you, Kev?
Me and how busy I usually can get and am. Like, there was a few Wednesdays ago, I needed sleep.
Mm-hmm.
As bad and as much as I wanted to be here, I was like, I know I'm gonna be saying some off the wall stuff. I got to get some sleep. And it's just one of those things to where it's like I have a routine now. For me, my self-care, I get off, I'm working, I work landscaping, and then I do security, I'll get off. I have me 1 or 2 beers, run into a few of my friends, and usually it ends up in laughter. It's very
Mm-hmm.
rare to end up in an argument. And to me, I've always found that, like we've said it in previous podcasts, that laughter is good for the soul. Laughter is good for anything. And
Mm-hmm.
if I can go home, get a shower after some laughter and a few cold ones, hey, all right, I'm ready, reset. Let's get the night going. But it's one of those things to where self-care to me goes hand in hand with self-isolation. Because sometimes you have to self-isolate yourself, even from yourself sometimes.
And one thing that's key to self-care, I mean, at the end of the day, the word is in there. Self.
Mm-hmm.
Self. And in the crazy world that we live in, we're runners, we're movers, we're shakers, we are constantly doing all the stuff and all the things, not only to achieve and to strive in life, but essentially, like, sometimes, to be honest, when it comes to myself, sometimes I keep myself busy to sort of not get so deep in myself. But at the same note, like, you still have to, like, you have to put it in your routine. And one thing, like trips and vacations and stuff, that is absolutely part of the formula. But can those, and I'm gonna use you as an example, as myself as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do those 7 days last you 365? I know it doesn't for me. I wish I need 7 days every 28 days, but they won't let me have it. Just it would be nice. What
I'll tell you, like, them 7 days for me, like, that's the reason why I went from 4 to 7, because if I'm down here 4 days, I'm counting, okay, how many days I got left, and I'm already thinking about going back already. So I told myself, if I could go ahead and do 7 days, if I'm here day 2, that's one less thing I got to think about. Now I know when I got to go back. I know when I got to go back. Well, trust me, that doggone shoot, I wish I had to where I can get like every 2.5 months, 7 days, 2.5 months, 7 days, 7 days.
But
I tell you what, during the pandemic, when you wasn't supposed to travel, but I hopped in my car and I went home for 2 weeks, and I was like, ooh, I like this. My boss was like, hey, you ready to come back for Mother's Day?
no.
Let's talk when I get back.
No.
Yeah, right. When you're leaving right now, as soon as I leave the job, I'm heading on 775 and I'm gone.
Oh man. But with me, I try to, because I really break down everything in the course of a week, because I mean, that's really our routine, our jobs per se, like, and I mean, of course, I still have my side gigs and stuff like that I do. But one thing I try to make, at least, like, if if you can give me a day to myself, and sometimes it's not necessarily to myself, but a day where I essentially a day to where I get to dictate what I do. So,
Mm-hmm.
and man, sometimes those days are few and far between, but I've made a conscious effort that Saturdays are really like my day that I can say, all right, Saturday morning, I'm going to do nothing.
Well,
And I'm a master at doing nothing. Especially on Saturday. Like, don't call me until about 3 o'clock in the afternoon about anything.
Mm.
But just depending on different events and stuff like that. But like I said, self-care to me is just making sure over the course of the week, over the course of like that certain things get done. Like,
Mm-hmm.
well,
self-care is also just, I mean, maintaining your place of living. Like sometimes you get so caught up in mess, and I'll even admit this on the air. There was a time where I was in such a deep rut, like as far as my mentals, I was in a deep bit of depression where I stopped caring, and that put me in a worse place because I stopped taking care of myself, stopped taking
Mm-hmm.
place I lived at. I was in a mess, and a friend of mine came through one day and saw how I was living. He's like, dude, bruh, get it together.
two of them.
And like it was one of those things where it I needed that shakeup from time to time because I stopped caring for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, to piggyback off of something you said too, that it's one of those things that, and this might not even be a word, but it sounds good in my head. Self production. Sometimes like you said, you need a self day just to dictate what you do, even if it is doing nothing. That is being productive to having somewhat of some self care. And it could be, you could label anything under that. How I see it is just like whether you're just sitting down listening to music, whether you're sitting at a pool reading a book, whether you're sitting
Mm-hmm.
or having a nice stiff one. Like, but sometimes we get, like B Live said, that we get so caught up in everything around us that we forget the most important part is self. Whether you want to say self-care, self-motivation, self-proclamation, self whatever it is.
I was going to stop you before you started trying to create stuff that don't exist. But,
On the fly, yeah.
hold on. Hey, we got you. We got
Yeah.
you. Yeah,
But
yeah, I know, but I know exactly what you're saying. And sometimes, and that's why, like, I battle this at times where I have to remind myself that, hey, I am good enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I said, there's times I battle with like, yo, I'll get in my own head and be like, what am I doing? Am I
Mhm.
really accomplishing anything? And so sometimes I'll bury myself. Sometimes in work. Sometimes I'll bury myself in a bottle, which is definitely not healthy for my mental health.
Can't do that, man. Can't do that.
Having a couple, okay, well, that's social, and I mean, but yeah, sometimes, whew, oh boy. But what I try to do more than anything now is that I I try to think about exactly what I'm going to do
Mm-hmm.
and what type of effects it's going to have, residual effects. Like, okay, on this Saturday, if I go hard in the paint and want to go see everybody and do it and all over the place, is it going to make for a productive Sunday, which I needed to be productive this Sunday? I got my karaoke gig. I'm try to make a little extra money and try to keep the crowd all hyped. If I'm over there just like, because I didn't had a few too many the day before, and so
Yeah.
that's the kind of things that even on Wednesdays and Thursdays are my long days. Like I with producing podcasts and stuff that I do. I'm gonna leave this recording, then I'm gonna go right to another karaoke gig, and I 8 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning to 2 o'clock in the morning. And I always have to remind myself, hey, right after that 2 o'clock in the morning, you get off. You got to be right back here at 8:30 in the morning. And you got to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed because, hey, focus.
Yeah.
And I struggle with that at times because, man, I'm just like, do I really want to? And then I come in the studio and I'm just like, all right, I've done this, and that. And have I really accomplished anything? And then I forget about some of the things that I was supposed to do, some of the things I had in the back of my mind from a couple of days ago. And I'm like, wait a minute. Okay. Can't keep going. Can't keep cycling through this rut. Got productive with my professional life and my personal life. So with this topic, the importance of self-care is astronomical. Like,
Very.
because I guarantee you, in the world that we live in, as much as we are very good friends, best friends, we look out for each other. At the end of the day, neither you, Ed, neither you, Kevin, wake up in the morning and be like, "Oh man, let's go take care of B Live." That ain't it. That is we too grown for that.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you don't take care of yourself, there ain't nobody else that will.
You're right about that. They won't, man. You just have to like I said, man, that damn self-care, self-preservation, and just like I read on the articles about the 5 types of, self-care. Like I said, you got your social and you got your physical and all that. Just like me, I need to get up off my butt here pretty soon to get back to the gym. I mean, because I've had a busy week so far and I haven't had a chance to go, but I'm going. So you just have to, spiritual self-care. Hey, gotta pick up the good book every once in a while and put some eyes on it and really have that time alone. Like when I get up in the morning, man, because so I feel be like sometimes get up in the mornings like, you know, I'm thankful for this, thankful for that, Lord, and I bless me, Lord, and thank you for everything. I appreciate it. And then it looks like, man, here's the whole day in front of me. I got this to do, I got that to do, and and you just got to figure out how you're gonna do it. But like I said about self-care, man, to me, self-care is important. Like I will, other than going home, I've never done a solo trip to anywhere by myself. But I mean, that might be in the future. But anyway, going on, anybody going with you? Nah, man, just me. Because as much as I'm a people person, I get tired of people. I get tired of looking at them. I get tired of talking to them.
But sometimes too, taking a self trip, sometimes that you need to do that because if you go with somebody, then you're worrying about this person, babysitting this person, take care of this person.
Yeah.
You get to actually enjoy it.
Yeah. And you got somebody which can't really relax like you want to, but if somebody go with you and they know how you like to relax, they're gonna leave you the hell alone.
Right.
And listen, I know you taking this 7-day trip to get away from a lot of things, but we busting up in there.
I'm strong, baby.
That's cool, hey man. Like that's cool. At least you ain't gonna be like, are you there yet? Are you there yet? Shut up.
We'll get there when we get there, and then
I do have one challenge for anybody and everybody who's listening, and it really just stuck out to me. Something of what B Live said. Let's wake up at least for 1 week until next Wednesday. Let's wake up, look at ourselves in the mirror, do your morning routine, and say, "I am enough," and let's see what changes.
I like that
for 1 week. To anybody and everybody, including us three, let's wake up, do our morning routine, and before you get to going, look at yourself in the mirror and say, "I am enough." And let's see what changes, whether it's a point of view, whether it's a mind state, whether it's spiritual, whether it's mental, whatever the case may be. Let's try it, see, and let's see what changes.
I'll do it. I'm all for it.
Definitely all for that. Because even with me, because I really do like sleep. I need to set my alarm for about 15 minutes earlier just to get up and touch grass. So I really need to get like a little walking routine, like just get up there and I've been losing weight. I've been doing good, but I need to take it a step further, and I just really Thursdays are tough though because I only get about 4 hours of sleep on Thursday, but it's okay, Frank, it's okay. But taking that little bit more time, that extra little bit of time of taking care of yourself goes a very, very long way. Fellas, I am extremely thankful that we gathered here on the finest of Wednesdays to talk about the topic. You know how Zoom likes to do, only gives about 40 minutes, and it's looking at me right now. All right, you're right. Hey, where's that button from the Chappelle Show? Wrap it up.
Wrap it up, B. Wrap it up.
Oh man, on behalf of myself, my man Edwin Vereen, my man Kevin Marshall, this is the Wellness Check Wednesdays podcast. We encourage each and every one of y'all to join us on Wednesdays here on Zoom. And with that being said, always and forever,
let's check in. Go outside and touch some grass and be nice to somebody, all right?
Smell the dirt.
Yes, sir.
All that.
And we out.
Thank you for listening to the Wellness Check Wednesdays podcast. Please join us every week, Wednesdays on Zoom at 6 p.m. and join our Facebook group for updates and to participate. We care about your mental health, so let's check in.